Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Maybe the real holiday miracle is realizing that sometimes the best memories aren't made with your relatives. They're made in peace, far away, with a cocktail in hand and no WhatsApp notifications. Today in the rLounge, the next time you think about how nice a family vacation would be, think again. Cousin blocked me from the holiday cruise, so I canceled the cabin suite I booked for the family. My cousin sent a group text about planning a family holiday cruise for December. She mentioned wanting to get the whole extended family together since we hadn't done a big trip in years. There were about 14 people interested, including my parents, sister, and her husband, with their 2 kids, plus various aunts, uncles, and cousins. Since I've taken several cruises before, I volunteered to research options and find the best deals. I enjoy planning travel and know how to spot good value versus tourist traps. My cousin said she'd handle the planning herself. A few days later, my sister called me for our weekly catch-up. During the conversation, she accidentally mentioned a group chat about cruise details that I wasn't a part of. When I asked her about it, she got quiet and said, "Oh, I thought you were in it too." I texted my cousin asking why I wasn't included in the planning discussions. She responded claiming it was an oversight and added me to the chat. The conversation history showed they'd been discussing options for several days already. Once I was added, my cousin shared 3 cruise options in the group. I looked them over and noticed they were all overpriced compared to what I knew was available. I suggested a 4th option with a better itinerary and pricing, even including links to the cruise line's website showing the deals. My cousin immediately shot down my suggestion with a short message. "We're sticking with these 3 options." No explanation, no consideration of the better deal I'd found. The family voted and selected a 7-day Caribbean cruise departing right before Christmas. After the cruise was selected, my cousin announced everyone needed to book their cabins through her contact, who supposedly had access to special rates and amenities. This immediately raised red flags for me. I've booked enough cruises to know that booking directly with the cruise line is usually the best option, especially for group rates. I replied to the group suggesting we book directly to avoid unnecessary fees. My cousin insisted her contact gets special rates and amenities not available to the public. I decided to do some private research and discovered her contact was actually charging about 15% more than the cruise line's direct prices. Instead of arguing further in the group chat, I went ahead and booked a grand family suite directly through the cruise line for $6,800. The suite could accommodate 8 people comfortably: my parents, my sister's family, and their 2 kids, and me. It had 3 bedrooms, a living area, and a massive private balcony. I figured this was the best solution since we could all stay together and actually save money compared to booking separate cabins through my cousin's contact. I messaged the group chat about my booking success, sharing some photos of the suite and mentioning the amenities like priority boarding, dedicated concierge, and private dining options. Within minutes, my cousin called me. She was absolutely furious that I didn't book through her contact. "You've completely undermined me. This was my cruise to organize." The next morning, I discovered she had removed me from the group chat again. At this point, I created a separate chat with just the family members who would be staying in my suite: my parents, sister, brother-in-law, and their kids. I shared all the confirmation details and suite amenities so they'd be excited about the trip. A few days later, my aunt texted me asking why I had dropped out of the cruise. I called her to clarify that I was definitely still going and had already booked a suite. Apparently, my cousin had told everyone I was no longer joining the cruise. Shortly after, my cousin texted demanding I cancel my booking and book through her. She claimed I was causing problems and ruining the family experience by not following her plan. I declined. I told her that I'd already paid the deposit. Her husband then DM'd me saying I was causing unnecessary drama and should just go along with what my cousin wanted. During this conversation, he revealed that my cousin was getting kickbacks from her travel agent friend for every referral. That explained her insistence on everyone booking through her contact. I made the final payment for the suite. The remaining balance was about $4,000. As a surprise for everyone in my suite, I also booked premium shore excursions at each port. Nothing crazy expensive, but nice experiences like a private catamaran sail in one port and a guided historical tour in another. I shared these details in our suite group chat, and everyone seemed excited. My sister called me a few days later to tell me my cousin had created a new family Facebook group for the cruise and had already deliberately excluded me. She was posting daily countdown updates and planning at group activities. My sister sent me screenshots showing my cousin had assigned everyone to specific dining tables, and unsurprisingly, neither I nor anyone staying in my suite was included in these arrangements. Fast forward to my dad's birthday gathering. My cousin announced she had ordered special t-shirts for everyone on the cruise, matching family shirts to wear for a group photo. When the shirts were distributed, there weren't any for me or anyone staying in my suite. My dad asked where our shirts were, and my cousin claimed she didn't know our sizes, so couldn't order for us. Once I received our cruise documents and luggage tags, I shared the digital boarding passes with my suite group so everyone had their own copy. My cousin messaged me asking for our boarding group number. I didn't respond, which led to her sending 3 more increasingly angry texts demanding to know our boarding information for coordination purposes. My cousin then scheduled a pre-cruise meeting at her house. The invitation explicitly stated it was only for those who booked through the official channel. About 3 weeks before the cruise, my sister forwarded me a screenshot from my cousin's group chat. In it, my cousin told everyone I had booked the wrong cruise and would show up on an empty dock while they were all having fun. I sent the entire family my booking confirmation showing the correct cruise and date, along with a brief message stating I was tired of the misinformation being spread. 10 days before departure, my cousin messaged demanding I give her one of the bedrooms in my suite for her kids. She claimed her cabins were too cramped and I had extra space to spare. When I declined, she threatened to make the cruise miserable for me. 5 days before departure, my cousin sent a group message saying I wasn't welcome at any group activities or excursions. She stated I would be excluded from family photos and memories, and everyone should respect her wishes as the cruise organizer. After months of this nonsense, I'd had enough. 2 days before the cruise, I contacted the cruise line and canceled my entire suite booking. Because it was so close to the sailing date, I only received an 85% refund, about $5,780. Using that money, I booked a last-minute holiday departing the same day as the cruise. Then I texted the family members who were supposed to stay in my suite that their accommodations had been canceled. I explained that after months of drama and being systematically excluded from family activities, I decided I'd take a solo trip instead. I apologized for the late notice, but reminded them that they could still book cabins directly through the cruise line if they wanted to go. The next morning, my parents, sister, and her family were panicking about losing their rooms just before the trip. My cousin's family was stuck in tiny interior cabins because she'd booked the cheapest options available, while charging them premium prices. My family was scrambling for last-minute accommodations, with some unable to get on the cruise at all due to limited availability. The remaining family members were forced to split up across different decks of the ship. I'll update if anything interesting happens when they all get back from what I'm sure is turning into a nightmare cruise. Update 1. It's been a little over a week since my last post, and I'm back with some updates as promised. First, thanks to everyone who commented on my original post. I read through all the comments while lounging on the beach, and I appreciate the support and validation that I wasn't overreacting. So, Christmas Day. While my cousin and the rest of the family were stuck on their cruise ship, I was enjoying a beachfront villa in Bali with absolutely zero drama. I posted a few photos on social media of my Christmas morning. Sunrise yoga on the beach, followed by a traditional Balinese breakfast served in my private pool. Nothing excessive, just sharing my holiday like anyone would. Within an hour, my sister texted me. Apparently the cruise was turning into a complete disaster. The family was split across the ship, with some on deck 3, others on deck 9, and no easy way to coordinate activities. My cousin had promised everyone they'd be close together, but that obviously didn't happen with last-minute bookings. My sister's text read, "This is a nightmare. My kids are miserable because we're in a tiny interior cabin with no windows. Mom and Dad got separated and are on opposite ends of the ship. Cousin is blaming the cruise line for messing up the reservations, but everyone knows it's because she waited until the last minute to book after your cancellation." Later that evening, my sister sent more details. Apparently, my cousin had planned a special Christmas dinner for everyone, but half the family couldn't attend because they were suffering from seasickness due to rough waters. The ship was experiencing heavy swells, and those in the lower deck interior cabins were getting the worst of it. My parents, who ended up in one of those cabins, spent Christmas Day in bed feeling nauseated. My sister also mentioned that tensions were running high. Several of my family members were openly questioning my cousin about the booking arrangements and why everyone was scattered throughout the ship. My cousin kept insisting it was my fault for canceling the suite, but people weren't buying it. They wanted to know why she hadn't helped my immediate family rebook suitable accommodations when she was supposedly the travel expert. 2 days later, my sister sent me a video. It showed a huge argument between my cousin and our aunt in one of the ship's restaurants. My aunt was yelling about being charged $3,200 for a cabin that should have cost $2,400, according to the cruise line's website. My cousin was frantically trying to quiet her down, but my aunt was having none of it. Apparently, several family members had been comparing notes about what they paid, and everyone discovered they had been charged 20 to 30% more than the cruise line's direct pricing. There was no special discount at all, just a markup that went into my cousin's pocket. My sister texted, "Everyone is demanding refunds from cousin. She's locked herself in her cabin and refuses to come out. Her husband is trying to do damage control, but no one's listening to him either. My mom called me yesterday after they got home. She sounded exhausted, but admitted I'd made the right decision by bailing on the cruise. "It was the worst family trip we've ever taken," she said. "Nobody could coordinate anything because we were all so spread out. The dining was a nightmare because cousin had promised we'd all have tables together, but that never happened. And now everyone's figuring out they overpaid by hundreds of dollars each." The biggest revelation came from my uncle. He created a new family group chat, notably excluding my cousin, where he shared that he'd done some digging. Turns out my cousin's travel agent friend wasn't a legitimate travel agent at all. It was actually a side business my cousin had started using someone else's credentials. She had been acting as a travel consultant while using an actual travel agent's booking system, someone she knew from college who had given her the access. The real travel agent had no idea my cousin was marking up prices and pocketing the difference. My uncle calculated that based on what everyone paid versus the actual cabin costs, my cousin had pocketed nearly $4,000 from family members for this cruise alone. No wonder she was so insistent on everyone booking through her contact. Some relatives are now considering cutting contact with my cousin entirely. My aunt, the one in the restaurant video, has already blocked her on all social media and told other family members she doesn't want to be invited to any gatherings where my cousin will be present. As for me, I returned yesterday feeling relaxed, refreshed, and vindicated. My tan is fantastic. I've got some great stories and photos. So that's where things stand right now. My cousin's reputation is in shambles, her scam has been exposed, and I had an amazing solo vacation instead of a nightmare cruise. Talk about a holiday from hell. Cousin tries to play travel guru, secretly pockets thousands, and gets everyone stuck in tiny cabins, while our protagonist quietly escapes to Bali. If someone is insisting you book through their contact and excluding you from group chats, it's probably less about togetherness and more about the cash. Sometimes the best way to survive a family vacation is to skip the chaos entirely, and clearly Bali beats Deck 3 every time. Honestly, we've all been there. You end up needing a vacation from your vacation. Is it ever a good idea to go for a family vacation? Do you have your own horror story? Let us know in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time. And please put your chair back where you found it.